I did it. I petitioned Blizzard. A lot of you guys were, fielding me complaints saying like, "Hey guys, it's too difficult." And I'm like, you know what? I'll smooth it over for you guys. Okay, so I did it. I got it hooked up for you guys. We got some really big nerfs here. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it because these are some big ones. Mythic Plus affixes Shrouded. That's the name of the affix. Zolgamox, that's the mini boss. Now casts Blood Barrier less often. I wonder if they'll fix it because apparently you could actually interrupt it. I was trying to do it as a non-paladin. Not really sure it's possible, but it's very interesting. But yeah, Blood Barrier is now going to cast less often, which is definitely what I recommended. They already nerfed the actual shield percent, but they're nerfing now the severity of how often it happens, which is definitely good. We'll see if that just makes it go one other cast, because right now the casts alternate. There's the purple circle and then the Blood Barrier, and they alternate. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be two purple circles in between Blood Barrier. I don't really know. And they also moved them from the spot in upper, which I don't know if I like that, to be honest. We had a nice little skip going on there, so we'll see where. I don't know where that would go, so we'll see. Very, very interesting to see where that goes. Maybe it'll be the Pyromancer on that very narrow bridge. That would be quite generous if that was the case. Anyway, we have Grimrail Depet. Gromkar Farseer Storm Shield can now be purged. That's huge. If you didn't pay much attention to the trash right before the final boss this week with Inspiring, it's a very unfriendly Inspiring because there's those two mobs casting Storm Shield, and those abilities do a ton of damage. So you really need to interrupt them, and you kind of can't. So that's now being purgeable. That's cool. The Cinder Seer will no longer cast Lava Wreath. Okay, I'm not actually. That's kind of a big change. I feel like, to be honest. I'm not really sure which spell Lava Wreath is, but the removing trash mechanics. I think, they were heavy-handed with that in Shadowlands as well. So we'll see what actually goes on there. But Grimrail Depot is the dungeon that we've been talking a lot about. How it was seemingly going to be bad, and it's actually not so bad. So whenever we see nerfs to this dungeon, I'm very satisfied with that because it's going to make this dungeon even easier than it already is. And we have two big ones right here. So Railmaster Rocket Spark, that's the first boss. Borka the Brute's Mad Dash reduced damage by 30%. So I didn't really have any trouble surviving this. I was used to it being very dangerous from challenge modes. I remember back in the day, I'd almost die every time. One defensive CD was all I needed. 30% nerf now. It's be complete. That's better than any one defensive I could use anyway. So that should be very, very easy now. But people have been commenting a lot on my videos and stuff saying they're getting one shot. They're claiming they're getting hit for 100K, but they're saying it's happening on a 2. So I'm not really sure, low key, 5, 3, 2. I haven't seen it. I haven't done those dungeons. I haven't done that level. But for me, I was doing about 80K, and that's it. Now, I don't know what the difference is there. So, but yeah, it's getting nerfed by 30%. So I don't know. It sounds like there's a bug for the low keys. There's also a big nerf to Tavra, Skylord Last Boss. Thunderous Breath, initial damage. So this is what we've been talking about. It seems like it's not dodgeable. There's some spots that you can stand as ranged damage dealers. There's little planks on the sides of the platforms or something that you could stand on, and it won't be able to hit you there. And then you basically can only stand there. I haven't seen that done yet, but yeah, that's going to help a lot because that fight is literally just see how long you can last and then hope your tank will solo it. And it's very easy to solo it, so I've been enjoying that. It's kind of good for the ego. But anyway, Iron Docks, Flesh Render Knockguard, its first boss. Dreadfang's Shredding Swipes should no longer hit multiple times. Unaware of what's going on there, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oshir, that's the assumingly that's the cat boss. Feeding Frenzy now requires Oshir to suffer 5% to be interrupted. That's a really big nerf. If you guys aren't aware, that can be immuned out of. I'm 99% sure something like Bop will work as well, but I know for sure Ice Block works, Paladin Bubble. I'm 90% sure Feign Death works too. I remember Hunters always used to be able to get out of it, so I assume it's Feign Death. I don't think Turtle does work. We see people try to Turtle, it doesn't work. So, and then final boss Skullock. This guy hits really hard, so melee damage has now been reduced by 15%. And Koramar will now no longer cast one of his abilities. Man, those are powerful nerfs. Here's the ones we've all been waiting for, okay? The Karazhan nerfs. These are the ones that, I do feel like are needed. So let's take a look. Ghostly Philanthropist will no longer cast Throw Coin. Sure. Gang, is that the thing that? No, I don't know. Pennies from heaven. Yeah, throw coin is like the. This was the mechanic. That's right. This was the mechanic that if you were not in range as a tank, it would hit somebody else. I assume. So if that's true, then that's good. It'll allow you to be able to go start the RP better. Gang ruffians poisonous shank damage reduced by 30%. That should be from the Opera Hall boss, if I believe. Gang ruffian. So that was the thing that was one-shotting people. If you saw I commented on this while I was streaming the other day. Two of them target a priest, and he dies. He gets hit for about 75% of his health just by getting targeted by the mechanic, and then one tick of it kills him. So and that was on like a 16, so very overpowered. And obviously, it's going to be easier this week. We're not going to have that one regardless. So, there probably is going to be some new problems. They're nerfing the Opera Hall Wicket one as well. Winged assistance health has been reduced by 30%. So they're already getting ahead of what presumably will be the next one. Actually, I forgot about this. On EU, there's a different one. So maybe that's the one that EU has. And then the final one is like the Dorothy one or whatever. Or maybe that is the Dorothy. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I don't really know what's next, so we'll see. But I'm sure the next time Tyrannical comes around, there'll be even more problems. But it's good to see that they're getting ahead. That fight is very overtuned, especially early on. I feel like when we were under geared, it's just destroying people. Now, this is a big one. Morose's Garrote duration has been reduced to 1 minute. Was permanent. Now, permanent, yeah, that's a Legion mechanic. You can tell that's a Legion mechanic. 1 minute, though, it's like, so, okay, what's actually going to change here? Well, the first person or two who get the mechanic, it might fall off them, right? I mean, are you going to really fight this boss for more, are you going to fight this boss for longer than 2 minutes? Yeah, I don't really think so. So, how many are actually going to fall off? He reapplies them very rapidly. You can actually have more than one stack, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that's just fair. I think that's a good change. It doesn't necessarily make that mechanic a joke or anything, but yeah, that's definitely a lot more fair. And they're also making it so the dinner party effect, which is when the mobs that he has with him are together, it increases the damage and attack speed of nearby dinner guests by only 50% now. So yeah, if you see, I accidentally gripped second one together when we were fighting the first one, and it just like rips the group open. That's pretty, yeah, obviously that's a pretty unfair thing as well. So this is just how it was in Legion, though. Things were different back then. The game was scaled differently. I knew they were going to have problems with this. I did not expect it to come from the Legion version of the dungeons. I thought it would be obviously Iron Docks and the Grimrail, but we're good to see those changes. They already nerfed the Maiden Shield as well, so it could be, that should be on this list too. You really should look at that as a nerf as well. That came on last Tuesday, actually, Tuesday night. So anyway, Return to Karazhan Upper, Shade of Medivh, Flame Wreath damage reduced by 30%. I was just talking about that with somebody in a comment, and they're saying that you basically have to hardcore heal people when that comes out. I thought it was kind of fair, to be honest, because there's nothing else to heal. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. I've seen it go really, really nuts. And if you die, you explode. So it's a full wipe. So that mechanic definitely is a little too punishing right now. So are there any other things you guys think they should adjust? I think these are really good. This is a really good start. It's pretty much all the things I had problems with, to be honest. I really can't think of anything that I would add to this list, but I'm sure that some of you guys have some thoughts on that. So please do leave them. The big issue, coming into the season is that we have a short season here. A lot's going to change with each affix set as well. We're going to get a lot more gear. And of course, we're doing dungeons that nobody's really done in a long time, some of them. So it's important that they're very receptive to these nerfs and they're quick to make them. I think the big issue with Shadowlands Mythic Plus Season 1, they made massive nerfs to basically all the tank damage. It was a lot easier to tank in Season 2. That should have happened. It was a very long Season 1, guys. It was 8 months, almost 9, actually. I think it was 8 months and 3 weeks. So very long Season 1, usually much shorter. And they just took way too long to make some of the changes they made to the dungeons. So the timer, the other side, theater, these things, they need to be looked at and adjusted. So we are continuing to keep a steady eye on this. So let me know what you guys think you'd like to see next. And if it's, if you think everything's good, you notice there's no changes to, there's certainly no changes to Junkyard. There's no changes to the Tazavesh dungeons. Seems appropriate. These are the ones that I would definitely like to see. So we'll see how it goes. Looking back to get into it on Tuesday. I can't wait to see Fortified.